Hello and welcome to Speak on Stage. My name is Dave Crane. I've got loads of apologies to make today. Firstly, for being late, because I've had a real challenge with. I'll tell you what it is. I'll do this entire show live from a Mac. And I love Mac, I love Apple products. If Apple wants to sponsor me and send me loads of stuff, I would thank you forever and mention you for even longer. But I don't clean out my Mac very good. I'm not very good at looking after all the housekeeping when it comes to my Mac. So every now and again, let me just stop the music. So let's be serious about it. Every now and again, it just needs a spring clean. And when I run the software, it has to be run several times to make sure that everything's good. Otherwise, it freezes. And I'll be talking to you like, and it just won't move, apart from I need to scratch my head. So that was a challenge, and it just needs. Once I finish this, I need to spring clean because all the shows I've done up till now are all stored here in the hard drive, and I need to clean them out. Otherwise, the software I think is glitching a little bit. So I need to make sure it's all good. It's like when I was a kid. We used to watch movies on the TV, and a TV is like a laptop, but squarer. Imagine a big cardboard box with a little screen on it that's not very clear, and you have to watch it from a distance, and you're not really sure what you're watching, and the noise is terrible. That's a TV. I used to sit there watching movies with my parents when I was. Sorry, welcome to Speak on Stage. I'm Dave Crane. How are you? Good. So when I was a kid, I used to watch all these movies. If it was like a war movie or cowboys shooting everybody and stuff, they'd say, Dave, once the movie's finished, you have to go around the back of the TV and clean out all the dead bodies. So when the movie is finished and the credits are coming down and the titles, my dad would say, go and get a dustpan and brush. And I would do it because I was an idiot. My parents were incredibly cruel. Weren't really. And I'd go and I'd wait for them to fall out the back of the TV. And they never did because that's not what happens, okay? You just go click and switch onto la 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 or some other TV. So I need to do that effectively with my Mac. Not clean the dead bodies out the back of it, clean it thoroughly and remove all the old shows. You can see them all. They're all online: YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Periscope, Twitter, and Instagram. We go live out to all them. Hello, welcome to the show. Speak on Stage. Dave Crane. I've got to apologise for another thing. Yesterday, I was wearing a grey shirt, grey t-shirt with an open chest, which I thought was kind of cool and groovy and laid back for a weekend vibe. And my wife said to me, Dave, no. I went, what do you mean? She said, you look cheap. You look like a hussy or a hoe. I've never been called a hoe. Why would I look like a gardening implement? Doesn't make sense to me anyway. She said, people won't like your chest hair. I didn't even think of it like that. I just thought it looked cool and groovy and laid back like my dear friend Brutus Gold, who you should Google, and we'll get him on the show one day soon as well. So I apologise for that. She said, first of all, you showed chest hair, which some people don't like. Well, if you haven't got any, then that's fair enough. If you're female and you have, then good luck. But if I've offended you by being half naked, I wasn't naked. Aragon, was I naked yesterday? He's not saying anything. He's got his eyes on Mordor. That's my big poster of Strider on a horse. Lord of the Rings poster. You're not with me. You're not with me at all. Okay, so I've got to apologise for the shirt. She also said another thing, which is that you need to go to the gym. I went, well, why? Because, things are working out all right. She said, because you got bingo wings. If you're British, you're laughing now. If you're not, that's another thing you have to Google. Are you with me so far? Good. Okay, so going back, I've realised that the reason I had my chest exposed and I wanted to be laid back is because I'm getting older. And I was going for that Harley Davidson mindset. Guys who are doing all right and are getting old a bit. And so they decided to get a Harley Davidson, which is not cheap. It's super cheap, super expensive. And all this stuff is branded, like the head scarves and all the bits that go with it. And that's what I was kind of heading to, not buying a motorbike. I was living in the past of still being attractive. And I don't mean to have this conversation at all, so let's move on. I love your comments. I love your thoughts. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something completely and utterly different. We're not going to talk about old age. In fact, instead of that, we're going to talk about this. Today's show is all about old age. Let me explain. It's all about becoming a Grey Panther. Now, let me explain what I mean by Grey Panther. Actually, this wasn't the original one. My friend Ernesto suggested that instead I should be looking at putting a different poster. And the original poster that he wanted me to have, picture, was something completely different. And it was very tame and it was very normal. I may show you at a later stage. but certainly not going to show you right now. Let's go back to where we were before. So the idea of a grey panther is very much about the idea that if you are slightly older and you're wondering about how to brand yourself and how to position yourself, you're probably in a situation where you're thinking, as I'm hitting 45, 50, yes, 45, 50, even if you're older, you'll be thinking this for some while anyway. The young boss, the young millennial boss, no offense, might be saying you're expensive because we need to pay for you to have medical, we need to pay for your insurance. Also, you've got more going on in your life. You've got like wife, kids, or husband, kids, and cars, and mortgages, and lots of rents, and you need to go on your big holidays. That's expensive. We can replace you with somebody younger and cheaper. Oh, does that ring a bell? Is that kind of scary for you? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But today's show is explaining to you, not explaining, I don't explain anything, explaining to you why the older you are, the more potential for you making money online forever. Not a get-rich-quick scheme, nothing to do with that, just repositioning. As long as you can understand the tech, as long as you can understand where I'm basically coming from with these concepts, I think you'll find it fascinating and interesting. As always, I love your comments, I love your thoughts. I will answer every single thing that you put, unless it's rude. And if you want more chest hair, it's not going to come. Or maybe it will. Depends on what's in the laundry before I come down here. So that was what I wanted to cover as well. We're going to talk very much about old age, and I don't think old age is old age. As far as I'm concerned, that when you're aged between 45 and 65 at least, then you are in your biggest hitting age, but they've changed the rules. Am I shouting again? That's another thing I've got to apologize for. I'm going to stop shouting, because yesterday it seems like the microphone was distorting. It wasn't, it was me, I was too loud. So I'm going to keep my voice down and do my Barry White. Hey, how are you? He had an Irish accent. In Singapore, the age of retirement has now been changed to 90. So that's a big illustration to you about how long we're going to be around. If that's a perception, or maybe just not trying to give anybody their pensions, then maybe we should be reconsidering our careers. And today's show is created to help you to make those decisions. It's Speak on Stage. So in Speak on Stage today, it's all about the Grey Panther, the legend of the Grey Panther, meaning you, if you've started to get grey hair. I've got grey beard, I've got grey beard, grey chest hair. I can't talk about chest hair. What I want to do as well is I want to illustrate something to you, because normally when we talk about who we are and what we do, we have to consider a couple of very important factors, and that's where are we in our journey of life. And that sounds like I'm getting very deep. I am getting very deep with a very good reason. I'm going to share with you very soon a thing called the hero's journey. Now, the hero's journey is a super important idea and a concept that may well change your life. So make sure that you invite your friends, share this with everybody. Make sure you're following me on every time that you get a chance to. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, because you don't want to miss these shows. They are life-changing. I'm not just saying that, it's because they've changed my life and I want to share this stuff with you. Now, the hero's journey is something that's a concept that's been put together by Hollywood. What's again the name of the gentleman? A gentleman put it all together. Malcolm Campbell, I think it is. Put it together as the concept of what the most famous stories of all time always had at the heart of them. All about a hero who went on a certain journey. Now, I've got a really profound thing to share with you, especially if you're slightly older, or you're looking for a job, or you're looking for a way of repositioning yourself. Today's show is all about how you can do that. And by the end of this show, in roughly about 30 minutes time, you will have a battle plan in order. And that can help you become an industry icon when you start adding your voice to it. This show is all about helping you to be able to speak on stage and do stuff like that. Does that make sense to you so far? So I want to show you a video. And with that video, it will really change the way that you perceive yourself. And I think you'll find it as fascinating as I do as well. So that's coming up next, all about the hero's journey.
What do Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo all have in common with the heroes of ancient myths? What if I told you they are all variants of the same hero? Do you believe that? Joseph Campbell did. He studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents the monomyth, or hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in the hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through an unfamiliar, special world. Along the way, there are some key events. Think about your favorite book or movie. Does it follow this pattern? Status quo, that's where we start. 1 o'clock, call to adventure. The hero receives a mysterious message, an invitation, a challenge. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some help, probably from someone older, wiser. 3 o'clock, departure. The hero crosses the threshold from his normal, safe home and enters the special world and adventure. We're not in Kansas anymore. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is hard work. Our hero solves a riddle, slays a monster, escapes from a trap. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face the biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear. 6 o'clock, crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour. He faces death and possibly even dies, only to be reborn. 7 o'clock, treasure. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, special recognition, or power. 8 o'clock, result. This can vary between stories. Do the monsters bow down before the hero, or do they chase him as he flees from the special world? 9 o'clock, return. After all that adventure, the hero returns to his ordinary world. 10 o'clock, new life. This quest has changed the hero. He has outgrown his old life. 11 o'clock, resolution. All the tangled plot lines get straightened out. 12 o'clock, status quo, but upgraded to a new level. Nothing is quite the same once you're a hero. Many popular books and movies follow this ancient formula pretty closely, but let's see how well The Hunger Games fits the hero's journey template. When does Katniss Everdeen hear a call to adventure that gets the story moving? When her sister's name is called from the lottery. How about assistance? Is anyone going to help her on her adventure? Hey, Mitch. What about departure? Does she leave her ordinary world? She gets on a train to the capital. Okay, so you get the idea. What do you have in common with Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo?
So if you just joined me, welcome to Speak on Stage. I'm Dave Crane, always telling you new ways of using your voice to become able to communicate and grow your business and market yourself. And I hope you found that fascinating. Now, the hero's journey is the plot line of every single movie that's ever been made in Hollywood. Not every single one, but most of them. You start off with the main character who moves along through lots of different adventures and ends up going through different changes in their life to get everything resolved. That's a standard 99% of all the movies that you ever see. Because the character could be Harry Potter, it could be Luke Skywalker, it could be an origin story of Captain America or Spider-Man or any of that stuff. It could be a love story where the challenge is going up against the ability to find the love of his dreams and all the sort of stuff that you got there. Are you with me? So here's a question for you, and I want you to answer this. And I'm going to wait to see what answers that we get. Okay, I'm going to stop the music now. So we're asking you live to answer this question. You got the hero's journey. You remember all the characters are there. You got the hero going through, decides to change from his world to the next world, or her world to the next world, to face a challenge. Along the way, she gets beaten, or he gets beaten by the thing that they want to beat. They're going to have to reinvent themselves, meet a mentor. The mentor tells them a few things to do. They go back into battle, and they jump into a different world. We go for a different world, lots of trials, tribulations, get it right, get it wrong, get it right, get it wrong, get their act together, and then they come back on to face the bigger creature. The bigger creature then beats them to death, not to death sometimes, and then they come back again stronger because they've got a special thing. And then they beat the big bad thing, and go on to resolve everything and decide to go home or decide to continue on their journey. As I mentioned, this is everything. Which character are you? No, don't just put Daredevil and, Spider-Man, Superman. No. Here's the thing. If you want to be really effective, and I want you to think about this, This is super, super insightful. You, to be really effective, should be the mentor, not the hero. Think about it. We spend our lives thinking we should be the hero of a journey, and that makes perfect sense. We still are, kind of. But if you really be of use to people, be the mentor that takes them to the new level. That's what I'm doing right now with this show. I'm mentoring and coaching you to be able to reinvent yourself, to move further forward. Does that mean I have to be a hero? Not at all. It doesn't matter. I don't need to qualify myself for everything. Yes, I change things all the time and add to it because I've got my own journey going on, but that's of no importance. Nobody cares how well I'm doing, apart from he's not dead yet. For you, you become the hero, you become the mentor, not the hero. And you look for heroes that you can move further on their journey. And that is the key to it. That's why the older you are, the more positioned you are to be that Morgan Freeman, that the older guy who comes along like what's he called from Bull Durham, Kevin Costner. He often plays with Harrison Ford plays him. Sean Connery in Highlander. These are all characters that come along. Dumbledore and tells them how to move forward. So from now on, your success is reinventing yourself to be the mentor. Mm. So I've just realized I've got to apologize. Welcome to Speak on Stage, by the way. I'm Dave Crane. At the end of that, I said, "You're the mentor." And I sounded like Yoda. Yoda? Yoda. Not Hodor from Game of Thrones. Yoda. You know, Yoda. I shouldn't ever do that again, should I? Luke Skywalker. I don't do impersonations because they don't sound like anybody but Dave with a weird throat. So Yoda was, of course, a mentor to Luke Skywalker. See how we're getting there. All right, so let's talk about the things that we're going to do. I'm going to be talking about how if you're older, first of all, you have to learn tech. Before we start anything, you have to understand tech. You should do some reverse mentoring. Get somebody who's younger than you to teach you how to learn to go online and do stuff. Forget it. There's no other way of doing it. You can't cheat. You can't hope for the best. You can't send the emails. Only old people read them. Everybody else has much faster ways of getting to connect with each other. Honestly, I know you don't believe me, but it's true. Different age groups have different ways of communicating. I tend to use WhatsApp, email if I have to, and I'm an old person in comparison to many who don't even do that. They just communicate through Insta and stuff like that. Okay. And if you're younger, there's even younger stuff that we use. So let's start off by looking at the ways that you can reinvent yourself. And so in times of uncertainty, these are now the 7 habits of highly effective leaders. Slightly different than the 7 habits of highly effective people. And this is in Forbes magazine. So let's go through this. First of all, balance realism, your ability to speak, balance realism and optimism. So what that means that what you have to do is understand that sometimes you have to take stock of what you really have, but also add a little smattering of "we can do this" on top of it. But it is a combination of the two. I was remember talking to a friend of mine on LinkedIn, and he'd made a post all about optimism as everything. I don't think it is. I think you need to understand where you are first, and then take stock of where you are, realize it won't get any worse than that, and if it does, then what's going to happen? Doesn't matter. We have no choice but to move forward and be optimistic about it. I think that makes a huge difference. Okay, number 2, communicate. I'm all over the place today. Hold on. Cup of tea really helps. This is my Captain America mug. Mentor in the Avengers, yes. Hero in the first Avenger. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. It doesn't. Yes, it kind of does a bit. Okay, fantastic. Right. Okay, so what I was saying was about communicate often and authentically. Very important to make sure that you do communicate effectively with people and let them know how they're getting on. Right, number 3 is this one, focus on purpose and culture. If it's your company, you need to be able to be aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and the culture of everybody who's participating. If it's not your company and you're working with them, then you have to be aware of the culture that you're stepping into. As a mentor, as a coach, as somebody who trains and works with different organizations, it doesn't matter what you think. They may be bringing you in to them to share what you know, but you still have to integrate it with what they already have. Otherwise, you're going to miss people. Remember, I talk about getting a Wi-Fi code of your audience as a speaker. It's the same when you're training as well. Number 4, nourish yourself. Make sure all the time that what you need to do is make sure that you look after you too. If you don't optimize who you are, if you don't eat first, then you won't be in a situation to help anybody else. So keep learning, keep nourishing yourself, keep connecting, look after yourself. Don't get bingo wings from not doing any workout. Yes, I know, Aziza, my wife told me just go through. Number 5, don't join in. That's not number 5, don't join in. Number 5 is evaluate competitive positioning. So know where your competitors are. All the time be aware of where they are. Doesn't mean you have to copy them, but just be aware if they're moving in that direction, there's probably a good reason. They've done some hard work to get there. But you might find, and this is the thing about Speak on Stage, this is the thing I'm sharing with you, if you're already coughing, I'm falling to bits today. If you're already an existing speaker, or you're wondering exactly how you can communicate with speakers and so on, most speakers are at home wondering where's their audience and when they're going to come back. The smart people are watching this show and reinventing themselves to be online, creating TV shows, being a virtual speaker, and doing things that are completely different, publishing and using video to reach new audiences, and being a consultant and a coach and all that. So you always have to know what's going on. For most people, that's not the case. Many people I know are just sat there waiting for the world to go back to normal, and it's never going back. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're in sports or anything else, just get used to it. Number 6. Get and stay curious. My good friend Dov Baron, the dragon, is all about this. He says, stay curious, my friends. And the reason he says it is because if you stay in your comfort zone and you don't look at anything outside of that, you won't know when you've been hit. Like the coronavirus, as horrible as the pandemic has been, for many organizations, they went, yeah, okay, so we have to change that. Are we okay? Let's get on with it. All the organizations, all the restaurants that were already on food delivery services, so you could get an app that would tell you how to get access to their food. All they had to do was close down their sitting area, and they concentrated on meals for mentions, on meals that people could order, even creating a dark kitchen that you can see online, so people can see the chef, you can talk to the chef because they're watching a show as he's cooking and talking, and that way more people would want to buy. Those people who were already curious about what's going on and start to reinvent themselves were able to deal with stuff a lot faster than everybody else. And the 7th habit is pause and celebrate success. So make sure you do reward yourself. Things are tough out there. They're not going to get easier, faster, anytime soon. So I would always recommend that you use quality time to say to yourself, you know what, I'm doing okay. It's time for me to deserve something good. I've been okay, so here's my reward. And in my case, this reward is a cup of tea. Next up, by the way, and Speak on Stage, and I love your thoughts and your comments. Please keep making them. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know your thoughts and all the things that are going on. And next up, we're going to be looking at some very interesting thoughts for you. We're going to be looking at, wait for it, what you have to do next if you want to be successful and reinvent yourself as a mentor. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Fantastic. There you go. All right, so where were we? We're talking about the importance of when you're old, you reinvent yourself. The older you are, the richer you can be, as long as you understand tech. And there's a reason for me saying that, which I will now explain to you. First of all, you've got more experience in business than most people. This is completely true. The more you know and the more you understand about what business is truly all about, the better the opportunities for you. Does that make sense? Yes. So therefore, you're going to be dealing with a lot of organizations and startups and people all around the world who don't know as much as you do. Those 40, 30, 20 years you were working for that organization may seem like an albatross around your neck when it comes to the fact that maybe you didn't move around so much, but it means that if you pull focus, you're a super expert on that one particular industry. And if anybody wants to know how to move forward or how to deal with challenges, you've got that. Number 2, you don't need a job. I haven't got a job. And I haven't had a job for 30 years, give or take 30 years. But I've been working on lots of different contracts and proposals and relationships, and I come back to people again and again. Why? Because the fundamental principle of having a job isn't so important anymore. The idea of working for one organization who owns you and takes all your time from you and decides where you are and how you do it, that's what most of the world does. But when you can move away from that, when you can get an entrepreneurial mindset, the opportunities are endless. Why not in a liquid economy work for lots of different organizations at the same time? A contract with them, a contract with these guys, all of them running concurrently. So when one finishes, you just replace that with something else. If you've got 4 different organizations, all paying you a third of what a organization used to pay for you before, you're making an extra third of money every single time you go to work because you've got lots of different plates to spin. And often, because you're so specialist at doing like one thing really well, it's so easy to do. You're doing what you love. They value you because you're the best at doing it in the business. And the rest of the time, you can spend marketing yourself, building your brand, learning to speak, creating video, or even relaxing and watching TV. Number 3 is the age 45 to 65 is the optimum punching age. Think about it. You've been around for a very long time, longer than most people in business, and you know things. Okay, the landscape's changing. That's a given. Things will change. That's what we have to deal with. But think about what that change really means. It means that when you go to work, you can see things happening and you've got a sixth sense that says, oh no, I don't like this. I'm going to say, what do you mean you don't like this? I've seen this before. Let me tell you what happened. This happened before. Here's what we have to do. Now, you can only learn that by getting it wrong as part of your learning curve. So the ages of 45 to 65, you're really strong at doing this. Now, I don't think that 65 is the right age. I think it goes much older than that because with science, with medicine, with the technology we have now, we should be able to live really to about 100, 120 in the coming years. By the time we reach 100, the technology should be allowing us to reprint, print arms and legs and bits, 3D printing to be able to make us live longer, and technology with nanotechnology should allow us to be around a lot longer than before. So with that, I don't think 65 is the end game. I think you should be looking at, like in Singapore I mentioned earlier, 90 for when you say, right, I've had enough. And if you think I'm talking about too early, then maybe you should reinvent yourself in the mirror on a regular basis. Number 4, you can coach and mentor everywhere now because you're older and you can go online and you understand the tech. You can reach everybody. I reach on average about 1,000 to 2,000 people every single day with this show. Sponsors, did you hear that? So with that, they're all over the place. And as always, by the way, please say where you're watching from, just to prove a point. We'll go Australia, we'll have Africa, we'll have America if they're awake, or if they're sleeping in the car and watching my show, in which case the show's not going to help you in that direction. We've got the UK, we've got Middle East, we've got India, Pakistan, we've got just about everywhere. At some point, somewhere is watching the show. So always let me know where you are, and remember, you can also reach these people too. But you need to know how to reach them, because otherwise you'll be invisible, and invisible doesn't get you any money. Aha. Well, you can still see me, so it's not invisible. Number 5, nobody will be in the same job market again. The job market is changing all the time. The way that we perceive things, the way we do things is different. So being fluid, having a different mindset and moving forward all the time is key to doing it. I'm a speaker. There are no audiences anywhere, but there's an audience right now. Every day I reach 1,000 people plus with my message, so I can vary the message, which makes me have to test myself to come up with new content all the time. Number 6, no student debt is involved. That's one of the great things about being an older worker. You've done through all that. Your mortgages, your kids are usually grown up, or maybe they won't leave, which is, I'm sure, the case for many. But you have gone through that kind of transition. You maybe got money saved up, so you just want to make sure you top it up. Your financial situation is different from everybody who's a first-time job seeker with a massive debt from being a student. So it gives you a great amount of positioning because you can charge less because you don't have to worry about what you've got to pay off. Number 7, you can freelance for many bosses at the same time, which I mentioned earlier. And you also understand the important thing of creating relationships with bosses. Now, you might have already been a boss and you're saying, well, I don't like the idea of working for anybody else. You don't work for anybody else. You work for yourself as an entity, and people hire your services as an expert and a consultant. So get the mindset right, okay? And if you don't like anybody, you finish the contract, goodbye. Number 8, your CV does look truly outstanding. Think about it. For everybody who's gone for a job, for the very first time, they've got a degree, they've got the things they did part-time or their special interests, but that's it. What you've got is a whole bank of achievements that you've done in your entire career, up to date. Put it on your LinkedIn. Make sure your LinkedIn profile has all those successes that are there as well, so people can find you online. We'll go through LinkedIn at some point in a future date, but make sure your CV is up to date because it looks amazing. You've got everything you need in there for somebody to say, I need somebody who's a freelancer. Oh my goodness, this guy's done everything. He's done bigger than we're looking at doing right now. He's going to be a great mentor, a great coach, or even a great practitioner of getting stuff done. Number 9, you know the cycles and the trends better than anybody. You've seen it happen before. You can fix it. You know what's going next. And even if you put the tech on it, AI, AR, VR, and MR, if you don't know what they are, 5-edged technology, not 5G and edge technology and cloud, all that stuff is what you need to be examining and understanding how that will integrate with what's happening now with the digitization of your business. That will give you such an edge over everybody who's not sure what's coming next. And I promise you, if you don't do that, your younger competitors already know. They don't even need to do any work on it. They know exactly what's coming now. And they're into that and using it just for fun with gaming. So you need to get up to speed if you want to be competitive or even relevant. And the number 10 thing is working from home is fab. If you're like me and you love your home comforts, you can work from home. Your family's there, me, my dogs are here, I can chill out. If I want to go to bed and have a little nap, I just walk through to the bedroom, then I come back to my office. What's not to hate and love about that? It's fantastic. So that's what I'd recommend. The older you are, get your head around tech, understand exactly what that means for you, the possibilities of what you can do with it, and the next thing you have to do is work out exactly what that means when you start going into a brand new job market online. So with that, it's been quite a good show. Hope you enjoyed it, having a lot of fun. And as usual, I want to share with you how you can become much better and more effective with this with the Industry Icon Program. And I'm going to be sharing with you some stuff in the future about how we can work together closer. We've been talking about doing some challenges. I'm going to be sharing some stuff in the next couple of days that are going to blow your mind. And we'll also start integrating videos into the show because I keep moving things forward all the time to give you some new insights and stuff that could be really useful for you. If this show's been useful for you, let me know. The Industry Icon Program, by the way, is how I help you, especially if you need a coach and you need to learn to speak and you need to market yourself to be effective online and you're not sure how to do it. I promise you, 99% of people do not know how to do this effectively, even the ones that call themselves experts. If you want to be seen around the world, have your own TV show, create books, create content, make sure your social media is up to speed, create a coaching course, connect with people who want your services, market yourself effectively, close deals. You might never have done sales before. This is all the stuff I train all the people on my Industry Icon Program. Go to thedavecrane.com or leave me a message here and I'll have a chat with you about how we can move you forward on that. I promise you it will change your life. And now is the time to invest in yourself more than ever before because the competition is coming. People are now getting used to the fact that right now, what we have is kind of okay. Maybe this is a new normal, and that's what you don't want to hear, because as soon as that happens, all the big muscle people start going back into business again. So you need to make sure that by the time the sleeping giants wake up again, you're back in the game. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. It's been groovy, a few challenges as always, but hey, that's why we live on the edge. Not the edge of a house, that'd be a ridiculous place to be, you'd fall off and it'd get too hot. If you've got any thoughts and comments, as always, tell me, put them in, and I'd love to know that. And I'll see you same time tomorrow for more fun and games. And if you want to contact me meantime and actually have a chat about the Industry Icon Program, then contact me directly and send you a link. We can set up a 15-minute Zoom call and have a chat about how we can move you forward. And if you need me to talk to your organization and motivate them, especially coming into the event season, we can do it online. I'll be demonstrating exactly how effective that can be, because people don't need to be anywhere apart from at home and in front of their laptops, which is exactly where you are, right here with me. It's a pleasure to spend quality time with you, and I always love having you here every single day. And I'll leave you with a thought about why I do what I do. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, hopefully a little bit earlier, if I can get the buttons to work. I'll clean all the dead people out the back of my computer, and I'll see you soon. It's Speak on Stage. I grew up with a reasonable relationship. I had a great family. I had people who really cared about me. But one thing was true. I was lost. I was a little boy who didn't know black from blue. The color of my skin made a difference when everybody around you is white. You start to question yourself, where do I fit in? Do I know what's right? Do I know what's not right? When you leave it, in the end, I know a handful of people took the time to share with me ideas and tell me some things that would make everything fall into place once and for all. And you know what? They didn't have to. They didn't have to tell me anything. They could have left me lost and alone. They could have had me, with nothing over my roof, no home. But instead what I got was a little bit of help, a little clue, a little something that made me feel that I could fit in. I could do something true. And that's why I'm here. That's why I share these ideas. That's why I'm in the Maldives with you. I want to share so much. But even a little bit is enough to sometimes get you through. Now, I don't think I'm brilliant. I'm under no illusion about what I bring to the table. I want to get you strong. I want to move you forward. I want to do a little bit to make you more able. I want to share some ideas like this. First of all, you never get time back. You are in charge of your own destiny, and what you get is your own fault, good or bad. I want you to know that you can never fail. It's all part of your learning curve. You'll never make mistakes, because at the time of doing something, you only do the best that you ever can do. I want you to know as well that you are the same as everybody else. You just make choices that make your life better, and better is down to happiness and finding your own tone, your own idea. But if you want to be stronger, the thing you've got to do is have an interest in everybody else and contribute and get them closer and get them through. There are lots of rules in life, but one of the most important things is to know that whoever you are, whatever you do, whatever you try and become, it's ultimately just down to you. You are all you need. You are enough. You don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be superstars. You just have to be tough, because it's not easy, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to take you down. It's going to rip off your hair. It's going to make it so tough for you. Nobody gets through. Nobody's left unaware, but I do believe in you, 100%. I know you can do it. I know that what the world is going to throw at you won't make any difference, because the end result is the end result, and it won't matter what people say. So why do I do what I do? If you haven't worked it out by now, let me share with you. I don't talk like this. I don't talk every day. I don't post. I don't give ideas just for me. I hope that with what I do, there might be one clue, one idea, one spark that you might not have got without having connected with me. My mentors, my friends, all the people that have helped me along the way. Sometimes I paid, sometimes it was for free, but they made an impact that made me the person I am today. For you, I wish you the very best. I'm not pretending to be some motivational guru. I'm not pretending to be some guy that knows everything, because I guarantee you that I do not know. But I do know one thing. In what I say and what I do, there could be a little gem, a little spark that saves you perhaps a day or two. It could even save you a year. Or maybe when you realize that everything is driven and designed by you, for you, it might save your life of following other people's lives and finding out who you should truly be. That's who I am. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I hope that as I chip away and share ideas, they make an impact on you.